Hey there, you're listening to BD4, where there's no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. Yanks every series, Knicks every game, and MMA on occasion. Here's your host, RJ Carbone.
And a high drive into left center field. Stanley's going to watch another one fly. Are you kidding me? DiVincenzo a three. Bang! Bang! Knicks take a
Take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody.
At the wall. See ya! See ya! See ya! Mr. November.
Anthony for three. Bang! That one goes down and the game is tied.
Rose, you shook up the world again.
I did it again. My God did it, man. I really just had
Gonna have to. Brunson running away. Oh my! He has been the best player to put on that uniform.
Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
Oh boy. All right. Well, the Yankees lose yet another series. Believe it or not. They continue to drop series. This time they lose at Camden Yards against a terrible Orioles team. Yet, this Yankees team remains super lucky because they're winning just enough in an awful American League East division with some pretty bad teams, some pretty mediocre talent. You know, never, ever, ever should an extremely average 18-13 record lead a division. But somehow right now it is. It's got this team in first place despite all of these losses. They are getting super lucky that Boston's been pretty bad. Toronto's unserious and Tampa Bay remains irrelevant. But man, how do you lose a series to a Baltimore team who has just been a joke? You know, an embarrassing joke, who have completely underwhelmed to their expectation. But the Yankees come strolling into town and they let them get right back on track, at least for a week or for a series. I had a tough time watching this series, right? These were I don't want to say three completely different games, but the middle game was completely different than the two bookend games. And the middle game was very fun on Tuesday. But it was rough. So we're going to discuss some things. We're going to discuss some important matters as we usually do. We'll talk about the series and all of that. And we're going to do that right now here on episode 856 of the podcast. Welcome to BD4. Let's get into it, man. The Yankees dropped 2 out of 3 at Camden Yards. They completely flop. That should have been a sweep. That should have been at least 2, I should say. Game 1 on Monday night, the Yankees lose 4-3. You had Will Warren on the mound against the righty Sugano. Warren ends up going 3 1/3 innings, 4 runs, 6 hits, 2 walks, strikes out 5, allows a home run, 72 pitches were thrown, and he takes the loss. He was bad. We'll talk more on Will Warren later. The bullpen comes in for 4 2/3. They do not allow a run. Yarbrough pitched some of the 4th, all of the 5th, and the 6th, and then he pitched some of the 7th. So he goes 3 2/3, no runs on 2 hits, a walk, strikes out 3. Did a nice job saving the bullpen. Williams came in the 8th. It was his first game off the closer role. He goes 1, 2, 3. The Bats, 3 runs in this game on 10 hits, no home runs, a walk, 15 strikeouts, and they went 3 for 11 with runners in scoring position. Against Sugano, they scored no runs on him in the 5 innings that he pitched. It was embarrassing. This is a pitcher who came into the game with an 8% K rate. A starting pitcher in the Big 2025 enters this game with an 8% K rate. Folks, if you're unfamiliar with K rate, it's strikeout percentage, right? The amount of batters that you strike out. Strikeouts divided by plate appearance. And the league average for K rate is about 22.5%, 23%. Sugano is striking out 8% of the batters he faces. That is, I want to say, historically low. He ends up striking out 8 guys, 8 Yankees in 5 innings. So you could say it was an embarrassing offensive effort. You know, the Yankees don't score until the Baltimore bullpen comes in and they score 3 runs on them in 3 innings. So just like that. Top of the 7th, Yanks are down 4-0. Aaron Judge picks up an RBI against the righty Cano. Cuts it to 4-1. Top of the 8th inning, the Yankees rally against the lefty Soto. You get Volpe and Wells with back-to-back 1-out doubles to make it 4-3. Mound visit. Dominguez ends up striking out. Cabrera grounds out. Rally over. Top 9 comes. The Yanks go down in order 1-2-3 against Bautista. Grisham pops it up to short. He goes 2 for 5 in the game. Judge, who went 2 for 5 with an RBI, ends up striking out swinging on a splitter. And then Bellinger, who was 1 for 4 with a walk, ends up striking out swinging. Foul tips a 98-mile-an-hour two-seamer to end the game. So that was the first game of the series on Monday, where the Yankees lost 4-3. The lone fun game from this series was on Tuesday, where the Yankees won 15-3 over the Orioles. You had Rodon on the mound against the righty Kyle Gibson, who I wanted the Yankees to go after. You know, we'll talk about that. But offensively, they scored 15 runs. 15 runs on 19 hits, 10 extra base hits, 4 walks, 9 strikeouts, and they won 8 for 20 with runners in scoring position. Right away, they do, in a very familiar fashion, the Yankees put an end to this game in the first inning with a bunch of home runs. Right, they get a 5-0 lead to start this game. You get Grisham, Judge, and Rice with back-to-back-to-back home runs. And then 2 at-bats later, Cody Bellinger slugs a solo home run. So the Yankees put up 4 home runs on 12 pitches. And then Volpe, a couple of at-bats after Bellinger, rips an RBI double. So it's 5-zip, top of the second to make it 6-0. Rice hits his second home run of the game. Top 4, you get Goldie and Peraza with a pair of singles to make it 9-zip. So against the righty Gibson, they scored 9 runs on him in 3 2/3 innings. The Baltimore bullpen, the Yankees got 6 more on them in 5 1/3. Goldie, Bellinger, Reyes, Wells, they all contributed. Goldie goes 2 for 5 with a couple of RBIs. Bellinger goes 2 for 4, double, homer, 2 walks, 3 RBIs. Wells with the solo home run. Volpe goes 2 for 6, couple of doubles, an RBI. Rice goes 3 for 5, 2 home runs, was hit by a pitch, picked up 2 RBIs. Judge goes 2 for 3, homer, couple of walks and an RBI. Cabrera goes 2 for 5, hit by a pitch. Jazz Chisholm picked up a double on his first at-bat, got to third base off the error there, left the game with an injury to his oblique. So hopefully that's nothing serious. It doesn't sound like it's anything too serious, but we'll see. Rodon got the start. He was very good until he wasn't at the very end there, but he ended up pitching another great outing. We'll talk more on him later. The Yankee bullpen, 3 innings, 1 run. Hamilton got the 7th and 8th. Finishes 2 innings, no runs, no base runners, 3 strikeouts. He has looked very strong lately. Just need that velo to creep back up to where it usually is. Tyler Matzik got the 9th, and he once again struggled. 1 inning, 1 run, a double, 2 walks. But the Yankees won this game 15-3, so who cares? Tonight, I should say, the Yankees lose 5-4. Carrasco against the lefty Povich. Top of the first inning, Judge hits the 2-run home run. Baltimore ends up scoring a couple runs. So in the top of the 5th, with the Orioles up 2, Goldschmidt hits a solo home run to pull the Yankees within 1. It was 4-3. Top 7, Baltimore's up 2 again. Judge rips an RBI single to make it 5-4 Baltimore. Rice comes up next, just misses a homer. Michael K gets fooled once again by a flyout. But that was what you had offensively. Carrasco on the mound goes 3 1/3, 4 runs, 8 hits, no walks, 5 strikeouts, 2 homers allowed, 66 pitches and a loss. We'll talk more on him. Good God. The bullpen, 4 2/3 innings, 1 run, 2 hits, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts. So Fernando Cruz, Devin Williams, Mark Leonard Jr., they were all very strong. Cruz was filthy. I'm just noticing this is the wrong graphic on the screen if you're watching, so ignore those numbers. But yeah, all those 3 guys were very good, but Tim Hill did struggle. He got the job done when he came in the bottom of the 4th, but bottom of the 5th inning comes, and he was extremely awful. He didn't have any command with his fastball. He walks Adley Rutschman and Ryan O'Hearn to start the inning. So he puts 2 on with nobody out. And then I don't know what the Yankees were doing playing for 2 there and not bringing the infield in, but it ends up hurting them as Laureano picks up the RBI on the fielder's choice to second base, or to the second baseman Reyes. Baltimore takes a 5-3 lead. That's when Hill was pulled for Cruz, who works out of the jam. You know my thoughts on Tim Hill. He's been fine. He's a fan favorite, but maybe if the Yankees had some actual velo in their bullpen and not some gimmicky 60-year-old submarine pitcher, they'd avoid those types of soft contact plays. Instead of worrying about spin and break so much, be nice to have some velocity in this bullpen, but I'll stop there. And so the Yankees lose this game, and they cannot complete the rally, and they lose the game 5-4. So they dropped 2 out of 3. I do want to start on a positive because I thought we continued to get brilliance, absolute brilliance from Carlos Rodon. So I'm going to tip my cap to Carlos Rodon, who completed another great outing yesterday when he tossed 6+ innings, 2 runs, 2 hits, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts, 1 home run, 91 pitches, and he got the win. I thought he mixed it up decently, and he's becoming more of a pitcher as he's incorporated more sinker, as he's leaning into the changeup more against righties. He was primarily a 3-pitch pitcher last night. 47% four-seam, 25% slider, 17% change, 6% curve, 6% sinker. So to righties, he was a 3-pitch pitcher. To lefties, he was a 2-pitch pitcher, 4-seam slider. But the stuff was working. He picked up 3 strikeouts with the slider, right? He gets Urias early on. He goes 2 4-seamers, and then he goes back foot slider to get him swinging against former Yankee prospect Jorge Mateo. He did a nice job mixing it up against him. He went curveball, 4-seam, changeup to put him in a 1-2 count. Rodon gets ahead. And then he goes slider, changeup, 4-seam, back to the slider to get Mateo striking out, swinging on that pitch. He gets Cedric Mullins to strike out looking on a slider low and away. It was a very good pitch. Picked up a couple of strikeouts with the four-seam. He got Mullins earlier in the game looking, and then he got Hanley to end the night, or end the sixth inning, I should say, with the four-seam fastball. Couple of strikeouts with the changeup as well. He got Rivera to swing and miss at it. He got Mountcastle to swing and miss at it. He got a ton of whiffs with the changeup throughout the night against their righties. So it continues to be an effective pitch against right-handed hitters. So I like that he's been going to that pitch this year still. Yeah, he did lose it a little bit in the final couple of innings. You know, he enters the bottom of the sixth with, I believe, a perfect game. And a 12-0 lead. But then he walks Rivera to lead off the inning on 7 pitches and then gives up his first hit to Mateo. It was a double off of a 96-mile-an-hour fastball, middle of the plate. Put runners on the corners with nobody out. Carlson ends up grounding out on a changeup. Baltimore scores their first run of the game there. Rodon works out of it after that. And then bottom of the seventh, with the 12-1 lead, Boone tries to stretch it. I didn't think it was necessary to throw Rodon out there. Not really a point. And right away, he gives up the leadoff home run to Gunnar to make it 12-2. But who cares? The final line doesn't look great. 6 innings, 2 runs, but he was good. He was very good. And he's been finding it, man. Carlos Rodon has found something on the season. The numbers are really good. He always got a 3.43 ERA across 42 innings, which is second in the American League. 52 strikeouts, first in the American League. A 154 batting average against, first in the American League. He's pitched now 3 straight quality starts where he's got a 0.95 ERA. In 19 innings with 24 strikeouts during that span. He looks good. The stuff looks the best it's been as a Yankee. You know, the slider is looking really good. It's got great drop. The changeup has been excellent to righty hitters. The curveball's got good drop. He obviously added that sinker to deepen his pitch mix and become less predictable and get more ground balls. You know, he is 72nd percentile ground balls. 90th percentile strikeouts, 82nd percentile in whiff percentage this year. So those are all very promising indicators. The fastball velocity is back up. The command has been there. And I think that's the big key. That's going to depict Carlos Rodon's consistency this year, as it always does. His fastball location is where it starts. That's everything. If he's not commanding it, he's in trouble. But if he's commanding that fastball at the top of the zone, his off-speed will play, right? That four-seamer has been a good pitch for him so far this season. That's not been the case in his first couple of seasons with the Yankees. But if he has that four-seamer working and it's getting the results that it's getting, it's going to help the slider play. It's going to help that changeup play when he goes to righties with it. That's huge. So we could talk about the velocity. We could talk about this, talk about that. But if he has that four-seam fastball working for him and he's still mixing in his secondaries, that's the key to success for Carlos Rodon in 2025. So he's done a nice job so far. It's very, very early. We're not even in May yet. But I really like what I'm seeing from Carlos, and he's playing a big role in this rotation as the number 2 once again. So I tip my cap to him, and this is our 3rd time tipping our cap this season to Carlos Rodon. I do want to real quick go to the bullpen and tip my cap to somebody who has not really been getting cap tips this year. Well, it's funny, actually. He has 2, despite being horrific most of this season. But yeah, obviously Devin Williams has had a tough time. But he has now been demoted, so the pressure is a little bit off him. Although the Yankees are still putting him in to pretty tight games, which is interesting. It's not like he's been completely demoted to a mop-up role or a punter role where you put him in the 6th inning when you're down 4 runs and or up a couple of runs. No, he's been in these tight games. Like Monday night, bottom of the 8th inning in a 3-run game, he comes in and he goes 1-2-3 with a strikeout, right? He gets Mountcastle to strike out swinging. He goes 3 fastballs and then a nice looking screwball against Kerstead. Gets him to ground out on an 8th pitch screwball below the zone. And then he gets Urias to pop up on a fastball at the top of the zone. Tonight, his second appearance of the series, comes into the bottom of the 7th inning. It's a 1-run game. Pitches a scoreless frame with another strikeout. He gets Adley to ground out on a fastball. He does walk O'Hearn on a couple of 4-seamers out of the zone. But then he gets a nice strike him out, throw him out to end the inning. He gets Laureano to strike out, swinging on a screwball below the zone. And then Austin Wells to Pablo Reyes, catching Ryan O'Hearn trying to steal second there. So it was nice to see Devin Williams pitch a couple of consecutive outings where he doesn't get into trouble. So hopefully that's a trend that continues. And again, I don't know that I expect him to reclaim his closer role at any point in this season, just because they gave it to Luke Weaver. It's going to be hard for Weaver to lose that role. But we'll see. Maybe he becomes an extremely effective eighth inning man for this team. And we'll see. But shout out to Devin Williams. Williams did his job, so that was nice. Now, I want to go to the other side of the diamond again here and talk about an issue that we've discussed a few times already this year. It's been a few episodes since, though. And, obviously the Yankees are way too left-handed. Plus, one of their switch bats isn't actually a switch bat in the Martian. And their numbers so far this season against left-handed pitching has been good, whether it's lefty starters or lefty relievers. Goldschmidt, Judge, Volpe, they've been mashing left-handed pitching. Grisham's been good against lefties. Cabrera has held his own against lefties. But for me, what I'm concerned about most is the sustainability of this. I don't care that they're doing this in April. How does this shape up the remainder of the season? And it's the late game situations that I really worry about. When you get into these certain situations against relief pitchers and you have these lanes that you've created for them to get to mow you down 1-2-3 with outs, that's what I'm worried about. And Monday, the first game of the series, the Baltimore goes to their lefty Keegan Aiken. He comes in to face the Yankee lefties plus Dominguez from the right side of the plate, right? He gets Jazz and Wells in a very easy 1-2-3 6th inning. And then he gets Dominguez from the right side of the plate in the 7th inning. And then tonight, they do the same exact thing. Baltimore goes to Keegan Aiken in the top of the 6th inning. He comes in for Rice, Wells, and Dominguez. He gets Rice to strike out swinging. He gets Wells. Wells actually picks up a base hit on him. But then he gets Dominguez to strike out looking to end the inning. And this was in a 2-run game. And then the top of the 7th inning, with the Yankees threatening to tie the game, Baltimore goes to the lefty Soto, who comes in to face Ben Rice. Ben Rice flies out to deep right field. That ends the rally. So we continue to see this. Despite the numbers looking good overall, it's the situational moments here where the Yankees are being exposed as a left-handed heavy team. And it's an issue I only see worsening for the Yankees as the season progresses, especially if Bellinger and Jazz Chisholm continue to tank their seasons into the ground. And if the Yankees keep trying to force Jason Dominguez into something he's not, we're trying to win games here. We don't have time for development on the right side of the plate for Jason Dominguez if he hasn't hit there since 2021 when he first became a pro. Like, the Yankees can't be dropping important division games because they want to coddle young players when they're trying to win a division at the same time. It's I don't know, man. I think they should be doing everything they can to have the matchup advantage. And what real advantage is there if your righty on lefty matchup isn't really an advantage, you know? And, you know, with Jazz Chisholm out for however long he's out, and I'm sure it's going to be a couple of weeks at the least, you're going to get a lot of Oswald Peraza reps, right? Who's a righty and is supposed to be decent against lefties. Will it help you? We'll see. But, you know, to all the Peraza fans, he's going to get reps, so there's no more excuses now. But, yeah, that's my big concern still. It was all winter with this lineup, is how they handle those lefty lanes that they create for opposing bullpens. On a plus, one of the guys who has been hitting lefties this season is continuing to have a strong overall season. And that's Anthony Volpe. You know, just 2 series ago in that Cleveland episode, we talked about the ugly strikeouts and the K rate being 30%, and how if he's not bringing any production and any power with those strikeouts, that's horrendous. You can't accept that. But right now, yeah, the K rate's high, and he's had some ugly swings and misses, but it's coming with power, and it's coming with on-base production. And the numbers are now back up. And you look at Anthony Volpe's season overall. Folks, we're 1 month in. He's got 15 extra base hits, 14 walks, 19 RBIs, 3 stolen bases, but a 328 on base, a 456 slug, which equates to a 784 OPS, and a WRC plus over 120. I mean, if I were to tell you, or somebody were to tell you that 1 month into the season, that would be what Anthony Volpe has been doing, I think everybody's taking that and sprinting away with it. And, you know, there are positive underlying metrics as well. He's chasing way less this season. He's in the 80th percentile in chase rate. He's chasing 7% less this season than he did last year when he was 45th percentile in chase rate. He's hitting the ball a lot harder, right? He's swinging a faster bat, exit velo, hard hit percentage, barrel rate. Last year, he was bottom third in all of those. This year, he's top third. So, since his low point after that Cleveland series, in his last 2 series, his last 6 games, Volpe's got a 391 average and a 462 on base. 9 hits, 5 doubles, a homer, 2 walks, 4 RBIs, 4 runs scored. So, you take the solid offensive production that he's been giving you, and you combine that with the elite base running and the elite shortstop. And man, has he made some excellent plays at shortstop this series. 5th inning of yesterday's game was crazy. That's a major win. That's a major win. So obviously the whole question of his entire career has been about consistency, right? Sustainability. That's been the big question. Can he continue this for more than just a stretch? He's had stretches in the past where he's looked good, but so far this season, I do have to say as a whole, he's been fairly consistent. The OPS has been above 700 in every single game this year except for 2. Okay? The average hasn't been great. That's okay. If he sits at 240 or close to 240, that's still good with the power and the on base that he's been giving you. His on base was never above 300. His slugging was never above 4. So it's nice to see that part of his game consistently there so far through 1 month this year. I'm not saying it's going to continue, but I am saying there has been consistency with Anthony Volpe so far this season. So it's nice to see that. However, I'm not going to tip my cap to Volpe because there's a man named Aaron Judge who's been even better for the Yankees at the plate. And so Aaron Judge, I'm tipping my cap to him because how could you not? What Aaron Judge is doing right now, you're not going to see from anybody maybe again on this Yankees team. Let me just read these series stats for you real quick. Aaron Judge in this Baltimore series went 7 for 11. That's a .636 batting average. He had 2 home runs, 5 singles, so an 1896 OPS, 3 walks, 5 RBIs. The guy has been doing nothing but raking. And we are at a point where his batting average on this season, folks, it's April 30th as I record. Aaron Judge is hitting .427 with a .521 on base, a .761 slug, and an OPS of .1282. 7 doubles, 1 triple, 10 home runs, 32 RBIs, and this is all across 31 games. I don't know what else to say. And it's crazy because the power is now starting to come along with the hits that he's been getting. He's starting to hit the home run ball a little bit more. 2 home runs in this series to make what he's doing even better. He could very well win the Triple Crown this year. I don't think anybody would be shocked. Is he going to bat 400? No, that's like. But the fact that he's doing that right now is crazy. Like we're at a point where batting average is real now. Like it's only going to fluctuate a couple of points when you get a hit or get out. So the fact that he's sitting here on April 30th and batting .427 is nuts. For context, his batting average is so high, he could go 2 for 5 in a game and it'd go down. That's crazy. Absolutely mind-boggling. The man is on fire. I don't know what else to say. It's a pleasure to watch him do this. He is on pace to have the greatest hitting season from a right-handed hitter ever. And he doesn't even have to do this while hitting 62 home runs again. He can hit, like he's on pace to just do some crazy 07 A-Rod, but 10 times better type stuff. It's hard to fathom. It's hard to fathom. He's Tony Gwynn with power, but like better. Like it's insane. And he's not even striking out. He's not striking out. He's striking out at a rate that's better than league average. For the first time in his career, he's been above average in that category. Like, yeah, it's hard. It's hard to put into words. I don't know what to say. Aaron Judge has been remarkable, and just pray and hope that he stays healthy the rest of the way here. So Aaron Judge, tipping my cap to you, of course, for the 4th time this season. That's second on the team to Max Fried. Yeah. And speaking of the rotation, that's where we get into things that need to change. And I want to talk about this Yankee rotation because this rotation has not been great. So let's wrap it up with that part when we return from break here. Stay with us. We'll be back in a sec. BD4 is available on social media for those who want to follow. You can find BD4 on Instagram at BD4Pod. You can find us on X at BD4Pod. And you can find us on Facebook by simply searching BD4. Hey guys, just a quick reminder, this podcast is also available in video format on YouTube. So be sure to go over to the YouTube channel, BD4, subscribe, like the videos, comment, and tell me how much I suck or maybe how much you like the video. We'd very much appreciate it. Don't have time to sit down and watch a video? You can listen to BD4 on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Don't forget to give us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts. And you can also watch the video format on Spotify too. Okay. Welcome back to the show. 1 second here. Episode 856 of the podcast. The Yankees flop at Camden Yards this past week. Camden Yards is a really beautiful ballpark. Didn't seem like there was many Baltimore fans there. I know they're struggling. It's kind of early. I don't know. I would love to go back to that place. Let's talk about this because there's been a lot of bitching and moaning about, and myself included, as we just discussed the Yankee lineup. There's been a lot of complaining about the Yankee lineup. At the end of the day, the only true massive issue right now with this team is their rotation, right? Because you look at their offensive production, and the Yankees currently are first in batting average, first in on-base percentage, first in slugging percentage, first in OPS, I believe first in home runs, and second in runs scored. Okay? And as much as we've been complaining about certain guys in their lineup, they do have 9 players with an OPS plus north of 100. So 9 above average hitters according to that metric. Do they have legitimate concerns? Of course. Some of these guys are still not hitting their weight, right? We just talked about the concerns that I have against left-handed relief pitching. But at the end of the day, the Yankees have 18 wins, and that's in large part of them hitting. They're hitting, right? And they're also fielding their position very well this year. They've improved defensively. They've been excellent on the base paths to where they're not just scoring with home runs this year, but they're creating runs through their athleticism on the bases. And the bullpen has even done a fantastic job. But the one part of this team that's been legitimately bad has been that starting staff. The Yankees this season are 10-3 when Max Fried and Carlos Rodon throw, which means they're 8-10 when those two guys don't throw. Obviously, Stroman was a nightmare, but Will Warren doesn't seem to have the command to get through 4 innings. Carrasco, kind of in the same boat as Warren and Stroman, like he's just become a laughingstock as a pitcher nowadays. Schmidt should help. Clark should play a role. But yeah, it's been Carrasco and it's been Warren. Those two guys can't give you more than 3 innings consistently, and that's an issue. You know, Will Warren on Monday in game 1 of the series, bottom of the 2nd inning, puts the Yankees behind right away. Laureano, an RBI double, 95, top of the zone. He continues to struggle against lefties, and a lot of that is his command and sequencing. Lefties in that game went 4 for 10 on him with a home run, a double, and he walked 2 of them. Bottom of the 2nd inning, again, issues a base hit to the lefty Jackson Holiday before a home run. And then bottom 3, you have 3 Baltimore lefties reaching in a row on him. You got the lefty Henderson with the leadoff walk. He lost the zone with his 4-seamer and changeup. You have the lefty Adley Rutschman with the walk to put runners on first and second. Again, he loses the zone with his fastball and changeup. And then the lefty Ryan O'Hearn slugs a 3-run home run when he hangs a sweeper to him to make it 4-0 Baltimore. You know, the 2 fastballs were okay. The 4-seamer worked in that game. The sinker was good when he commanded it, but his off speed was not good. His sweeper was terrible, and his changeup was bad. And it wasn't fooling Baltimore lefties either. It seems like Will Warren is more of a relief pitcher than he is a starting pitcher. He doesn't have the stuff to fool hitters for more than 3 or 4 innings. He has one pitch that I really think could become elite for him, and that's that sweeper. Everything else has not netted results, but even the sweeper has faltered for him lately. And then Carrasco tonight. Bottom of the first inning, the slider was working early. He picked up a couple of strikeouts with that. That one nice pitch he had to, I forget who it was, lefty though. Slider inside, gets that strike 3 call. Then he gets another one in the next at bat. But then you realize who he is, right? You come back to reality in the bottom of the second inning, and it's a prime example of why the whole just throw strikes thing is kind of overused today. Like, I don't want Carlos Carrasco anywhere near the plate. His stuff is horrid. I would rather a walk. Like, he gives up that 2-run bomb to Mountcastle. It's a backup slider to tie the game. Horrible pitch with no bite. Urias hits the go-ahead home run on him 2 at-bats later. It's a 90-mile-an-hour fastball middle of the plate. Adley Rutschman, the RBI base hit to give Baltimore a 4-2 lead. 90-mile-an-hour two-seamer, middle of the plate. I think the Yankees need to pull him and cut ties. He's not a major league arm. And it kind of makes me mad that some people are now just starting to come around on this when, we've been on this train, and at least some of us have been on this train and yelling from the top of the mountains that, like, he's the same pitcher as Stroman. But I don't know what it is. I guess it was like the early season optimism with everyone just blinded by the fact that he's not good. Like, oh, it's Cookie. He's a likable veteran. Oh, he'll be a serviceable number 5. Oh, look, the pinstripe magic will turn into him and he'll be good for a couple. No, like, he's not good. He's not been good for years. His stuff's horrendous. We knew this. Where have you been? So I don't know what we're going to do, but they have to do something. They can't continue to go with 40% of their rotation, losing them games every 5 days, every 4 to 5 days. Someone from the system should be getting a promotion, or go to Tyler Matzek to open as an opener. Go to Ryan Yarbrough to open. Make a move. Go to a 4-man rotation. You look at the scheduled days off in May. They have the first 3 Thursdays off, the 1st, the 8th, and the 15th. They've got Monday the 19th off, and they've got Thursday the 29th off. So there are lanes there to go to a 4-man rotation in the next month here. So you don't have to continue to throw a Will Warren or a Carlos Carrasco as consistently as you've done. So they need to start saving their bullpen, because as good as this bullpen's been, it's not sustainable to continue to tax them 2 of every 5 days. This rotation's a problem, and it needs to be solved very soon. With that said, folks, that is all we have on this Camden Yards series. The Yankees dropped 2 out of 3. We're going to wrap this up when we return from our final break here on the show in episode 856. Stay with us. Yanks flop at Camden Yards. We'll be right back. If you feel like supporting the podcast, you can Venmo at Robert-Carbone-JR-28. We really appreciate your support. Do you enjoy Yankees baseball but are tired of hearing me yap? I have a suggestion for you. Go check out Yankee Crazy Podcast. Greg Gill is a Yankees podcaster on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and he's now selling merch. Go to yankeecrazy.myshopify.com. stay connected with us. Visit BD4blog.com to explore our blog, tune into our latest podcasts, and follow us on social media. Thank you for being a part of this community. Okay. Welcome back to the show. I appreciate you all tuning in here to episode 856 of the podcast. Yeah, rough series. Very, very rough series. You cannot drop two to that team, but they find a way to. Coming up, again, the Yankees have the day off tomorrow, and then they begin a 6-game homestand against Tampa and San Diego. Little interleague play there, but they do have Tampa for 3 this Friday, Saturday, Sunday. To be honest, it should be a sweep. If the Yankees want to be taken serious in this division, they need to start winning these games. So they should be sweeping this team. Tampa's not good. The Yankees are supposed to be good, so we'll see what happens. Not going to go any further. So what we will do is wrap this one up with our trivia question of the day. And with me brain dead, I completely forgot to find a trivia question for today. So what I'm going to do here is read one off of these Yankee trivia cards that I have, which is usually where I get these trivias. But our trivia question here off the fly, let's do this one. Since we got San Diego coming up in a week. Which Yankees player homered twice in Game 3 of the 98 World Series against San Diego to lead the Yankees to a 5-4 win? All right. Which Yankees player homered twice in Game 3 of the 98 World Series against San Diego to lead the Yankees to a 5-4 win? Let me know the answer wherever you can reach me, folks. I appreciate it. And with that said, I will see you all in the next episode of BD4, where there's no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. We also do MMA on occasion. Yanks every series, Knicks every game. Appreciate you all tuning in. My Knicks fans, I'll see you very soon after tomorrow's win in Detroit. And my Yankees fans, I will see you after this upcoming Yankees-Rays series. Appreciate you all. Later. Well, if you made it this far, that means you listened to or watched the entire episode. Thank you. Just remember to follow, subscribe, download, rate and review, and all that fun stuff to help out the podcast. And I will see you in the next episode of BD4.